So, you remember these big, cool Titan Pokemon that you had to fight along your journey through Paldea? Well, you can actually catch them. And in today's video, I'm going to show you how and where you can catch these behemoth Pokemon. So, to start out, I do recommend that you have the TM4 False Swipe in your bag, as that'll help make the catching process a whole lot easier. If you do not know how to get this TM, it is simply got through registering 30 Pokemon to your Pokedex and talking with Professor Jack. I'm personally using a Sneasel for this, as well as a Toedscool in combination to put them to sleep after putting them down to 1 HP. So the first Titan we will be going to find is Klawf. First, you need to teleport down to the western point of Artisan. That took me a second. I had to pause for a second to remember how to say that. Artisan. And then you will go northeast-ish from there. And you will keep going that direction around these paths until you get towards the area where Klawf originally spawned. And as you can see, there is a Klawf sitting right here. And you can't encounter it normally. But if you interact with it, it'll say Glaw. And it'll initiate a battle with you. Now this is the Titan one. It is the same level and so on. I'm just going to use a Quick Ball for the sake of convenience. But some of the other ones, it might be better to weaken them down first. And that is the Titan Klawf. What is special about these is that they actually all come guaranteed with 3 perfect IVs. Quick little PSA. This is a Leoro from a couple minutes after finishing recording that video. I went to go look on my Violet account to look at my Iron Treads on there that I captured. And found out that it's not 3 perfect stats, but all 5 of these stats are very close to perfect, being fantastic as you can see on this appraisal screen. Sorry about that misinformation. Here you can also see the Orthworm and the Klawf. These are all the Titan ones. They all have 5 fantastic all their stats are fantastic. Back to me. And if you don't have the Pokemon already, or if you just didn't feel like getting it elsewhere, this is where you can get it. I'm just going to send them to the boxes because I don't want them on my team right now. Next up, we're going to go for Bombirdier. So you're going to want to travel to West Province Area 1 Central's teleport point. And once you get there, it's a very similar story to Klawf. You're going to need to travel north up the path. Well, first you're going to need to go a little bit east. But then you'll need to go north up this mountain until you find a Bombirdier standing still. So now that we're here, we can see this Bombirdier just standing here. We can't run into it like a normal Pokemon. So that means it's the Titan Bombirdier. And once you press A to interact with it, it'll initiate a battle. And you will be able to catch it. Just like with Klawf, this has 3 guaranteed perfect IVs. So if you're still in your playthrough, they make for pretty good options, as some of their stats are better than the normal ones that you'll be able to get. We'll put in a Premier Ball. Premier Balls are pretty. Okay, I guess it doesn't want to be caught. I'll come back to you, though, when I do catch this Bombirdier. Okay, that took longer than I'd like to admit. We ran out of Premier Balls, so I just settled for going with an Ultra Ball because I was getting impatient. But that is the Titan Bombirdier. Next up, we are going to go for Orthworm. So, just like with the last 2, you were going to want to teleport near where Orthworm originally was. I'm going to go with Laventia North, but you could also go with the teleport waypoint over by where Atticus's base is. Once you get to Laventia, start traveling north into East Area Province 2. Which eventually transitions into East Province 3. So if you go slightly east of where that other was, you can go through this cave. She'll put you in this area. And as you can see, there is an Orthworm sitting here. You can't run into it. Probably should have done this for the others, but here it is on the map. Right here in this little area. And we can just go ahead and battle the Orthworm. But because I'm stubborn, I'm not going to bother with False Swipe and just start throwing Ultra Balls. So I'll be back when this thing actually decides to catch. Because there's no way it does it on the first ball. See, I told you it wouldn't. Okay, there we go. We caught Orthworm. God, that took way too long. So next up, we are going to be going towards where There is a version exclusive one, being Iron Treads or Giant Tusk, the ground type Titan that is found in Asado Desert. I am teleporting over to Karaskafa, the southern, more teleport point, just because I find that to be a little bit easier to get to. From there, you will travel northeast until you get towards the point where you fought Iron Treads or Great Tusk, depending on your version. Obviously, I'm on Scarlet, so I will see Great Tusk. See if you are in this area where you originally fought Great Tusk or Iron Treads. You'll see one of them just standing out in the open right around here. On the map, this is where they appear, right in this area, near these rocks over here. You can go ahead and battle it, and go ahead and catch it. These Pokemon will have very similar movesets to when you battled them, because they're the same level as when you fought them originally. So this is also a good way to know if you were super under-leveled or not. Then again, if you're like me, you probably found out the hard way that you were under-leveled against Great Tusk. And speaking of being under-leveled, I'm not, and I still got murdered by that Brick Break. Let's just bring in our Toedscruel so we can put it to sleep and go ahead and capture it. Now that Great Tusk is asleep, surely this Ultra Ball has an amazing chance of working. It's asleep, it's on one... Okay, I understand. You are not going to be easy to catch. This is why I recommend bringing a False Swiper and maybe something to put it to sleep. I'm not doing this the most optimally. Probably the more optimal choice is to get Gallade, since it learns both False Swipe and Hypnosis, and you don't have to use two different Pokemon like I am. Because see, when you have it False Swiped and asleep, it's a much better chance of catching it. Ignore that first time when it broke out immediately. But that is Great Tusk captured, the ground and fighting type. We'll just go ahead and send him to the box, and I can see a Rufflet on my feet. Wonderful. I love it when Pokemon do this. So now that leaves one more Titan left to go. For this, you are going to need to teleport to the main Casoria Lake. From arriving here, you will need to go east towards the small island that you will see on the minimap and in the horizon. You can see it now. And if you come over to this right island, you'll see a little Tatsugiri sitting right here. And on the map, you can see this is the smaller island south of the bigger one and to the east of the one that you flew to. You just go ahead and walk up to him like all the other Titans, and you initiate a battle. I'm 99% sure he will always show up in this pattern. I personally haven't seen it in any other pattern, but if you have, just let me know in the comments, because that'd be really neat. If it can show up in the other patterns. I'm just going to put it to sleep real quick and try and go ahead and catch it. And that's that. That is Tatsugiri, the final Titan Pokemon. As I said earlier, these make great additions to your team during your playthrough, as they are guaranteed to have 3 perfect stats, and they're generally pretty strong Pokemon. Especially if you like these Pokemon. I personally like pretty much all of them. The only one I don't have a strong affinity towards is really Cloth, but even then, he's still a pretty cool Pokemon. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe, as that's the best way of letting me know. And if you are curious on where to get the other Paradox Pokemon similar to Great Tusk, then you should check out this video on screen for information on that. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. See ya!